primitive types here. I'm hoping people got through, 1.1, maybe through 1.5. I know that's what I talked about last week in our little meeting there on Zoom. If not, that's okay. I had a little bit of leniency. But then this week I would like you to try and finish it and take this quiz down at the bottom. So if you're not familiar with CodeHS, maybe you were sick last week or something like that. You go to a section, there's a video that kind of tells you what's going on. There's multiple choice quizzes. There's some examples that they give you that you can change around and mess with. And then there's some exercises where you do some stuff. So maybe I should just click on preview and just show you what I'm talking about if you're not familiar with it. There's a video, you go ahead and watch it. You get credit for watching the video. I would recommend having a notebook out and your phone put away, any distractions put away while you're doing these. So there's a video you watch, you can just click the play button in there. I'm not going to do that right now. There's examples. I'll pull up an example and just show you what that kind of looks like. It tells you there's an example, you're encouraged to play around with it. Here you're being taught about the scanner class this week, which is a way that you can get input from the keyboard. So if you're making a program, you obviously want the user to be able to respond and interact with your program. That's what you're going to be looking at this week, just to show you kind of real quick what I'm talking about. If I were to go ahead and run some code, it says, please enter the number you would like to decrease by 1. I can actually now, on my own keyboard, I'm going to type in the number 5 and hit enter. And it's going to store that. And I can type in another number I want to decrease by 1. Maybe I'll put 10 here, hit enter. And it says number 1 is now 6 because it increased by 1. Number 2 is now 9. And you can go ahead and look at the code that's directly related to the video you watched in the previous, section, and you can mess around with it, change around with it, practice all that stuff. Check out what you took notes on. And then there's these exercises where you actually are given some instructions, and the instructions are right here. You're told what to do. It gives you some example, all that stuff. You click let's go and you write your code right here where it says start here. You can, if you're confident, you can click this run code button or the check code button. And then if it looks like everything's working okay, you at the end need to hit the submit and continue. I think some people last week maybe just forgot to hit the submit and continue button when they were finished, complete with a question, and only gives you credit when you hit submit and continue. So just making sure you guys do that, hit that submit and continue button when you're finished with an activity in CodeHS and all that stuff. And then there's a lesson here on casting and range of variables. I think you can get through one of these lessons in like an hour or less if you just sit down and focus on it. So you could do 1.6, sit down, probably an hour or less. 1.7, sit down, an hour or less. Quiz, it's just multiple choice questions. Just take your time there. So that'll kind of wrap up this 2 weeks of Unit 1 when you complete 1.1 through 1.8. And so that's the first thing I have in there is completing Unit 1. And then just to show me that you are confident and accomplished in your skills, I did put up a modified Project 1, and I wanted to talk about that really quick. So once you finish Unit 1 in CodeHS, I put together a very simple project for you to do. And I'm actually going to have you do it in CodeHS so you don't have to worry about installing software and any of that stuff. So it says the instructions right here. It says in CodeHS, hit the sandbox button. Then it says type in the name for your project. I would recommend you name, there's a couple of examples of projects on the following pages. Name it whichever one you choose to do. If you want to do this, this one on slope, Project 1B slope. After I click on sandbox, I'm going to call this one Project 1B slope. Then I'll click create program. Next in the instructions up here, it says click sandbox, type in the name. I just did that. I click create program. Notice I've included screenshots to help you do this. Okay, you're not on your own. Then I said choose Java main. I've even got a screenshot with an arrow pointing to it. Java main, not JavaScript, but Java main, and click create program. And that's everything it says there. And then number 4 says delete any unnecessary code, which usually is lines 8 through 19 in my experience. This is just a bunch of gobbledygook, so I'm just going to delete lines 8 through 19. And then there you go. You've got something that's going to save in the cloud that you can run. You can do whatever. Hello, everybody. Hope you are well. Something like that there. And it'll run right in the browser. You can click the run button and there you go. There's my program. I could even, here's something you're going to be learning this week. I could say type in your name and I could do that. Oh, did somebody was trying to join. 1 second here. Maybe I admitted them. Okay. And then you can actually get that from the keyboard using the scanner that you're going to learn about this week. And then I could say something like, hi, name, or something like that. So now somebody can interact with my program. Type in your name, Mr. Foster, and it says, hi, Mr. Foster. So now people can interact with my program. And so after you've gone ahead and you've created this, new window, new program, on the document here, I've got some different options that if we were face-to-face in person, we'd be doing this whole project 1 together in the classroom. But I kind of cut it down to some of the smaller, shorter programs for you to choose one that you're interested in. I'm just going to talk about them briefly. If you have a question about one of them that you just think of off the top of your head, you can type it in the chat. The first example is called fast food, and it says in this project, you're going to apply print, arithmetic operations, blah, blah, blah. Essentially in this program, what's going to happen is the users, it's a weird restaurant is the concept, and where the customers get to choose what they order. It's not like McDonald's where there's a big menu. The customers get to choose what they want to order and how much they pay for it. So here you say, what 2 items are you going to be ordering? This person said they want burger and drink. And they'll be able to type that in. They can type in anything using the scanner you're going to be learning about this week. And then type in the cost and all that stuff. And you say, what is the cost of one blank? If they type in sushi and fries, I want you to say, what is the cost of one sushi? Or what is the cost of one fries? Whatever. So they are not necessarily always going to order a burger and drink. They can order anything, and you'll take care of that by using the scanner class that you're going to be learning about this week. And then you ask the user how much it costs for one of them. They type it in. You ask the user how many they want of them. They type it in, and then you calculate the total cost. So that's one option, this high concept fast food restaurant. The other option is called slope. In this one, the user is going to enter 4 inputs, which represent the X and Y values for point 1, the X and Y values for point 2. So X1, Y1, X2, Y2, 4 inputs. And you're going to calculate the slope connecting the 2 points. I didn't put the slope equation in here, but I'll give you a hint. It's rise over run, or y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Don't tell anybody I told you. So that's what's going on there in this project. It's pretty straightforward. I've got an example down here. The user types in 2 values. Notice the user's not going to type in a paren or a comma or anything like that. 0 represents x1. This 0 represents y1. This 0 represents x2. This 1 represents x2. This 1 represents y2. And you just use the slope equation and print out what the slope of the line is. And then there's another one here that involves modulus. It's basically the user could type in any number of days, hours, and minutes, and you fix it, meaning, if they type in over 24 hours, you have to convert that into a number of days and hours. If they type in over 59 minutes, you convert that into a number of hours and minutes. So for example, 47 hours, well, you would have to, take 47 and say, oh, that's a day and, 20 what, 23 hours, whatever. So you'd have to roll that day over here. 155 minutes, that's what, 2 hours and 35. So you'd have to do a little bit of math with what the user types in and do a calculation. This is just an example. If your program's working, my examples should give you the output that I expect, essentially. So I've given you some examples there to try out and work on. Now you don't have to do all 3 of them. I did put it on the document here. Oh, let me just talk about the final page really quick. Final page has instructions on how to share it. It's super simple. I put instructions in there with screenshots. Basically, all you have to do is click this. Sorry, my stuff for Zoom is in the way. If you click more, oh my gosh, sorry, all the Zoom stuff is in the way. More, and then share. Click this create share link, and then you can share it with people. I actually did not put that, I think, in my document. Hold on one second. Click create share link and copy the share URL. Okay, and then just email it to me. How many do you have to do? 1 is fine. If you can do 1, that's great. If you can do 2, oh my gosh, that's amazing. If you can do 3, I am going to be mind blown out of my gourd. It'll be the best thing that's happened to me this month if you can do 3 of them. But really, if you do 1, that's great. That's okay. And just send me an email with the link. It gives you a link down here that you can just, or link right here that you can just copy and shoot to an email in me, shoot an email to me with it. And again, all of these are just involving stuff that you've learned about in Unit 1. You shouldn't have to go outside of the things that you've learned about in Unit 1 to do any of these projects. So you do not have to do all 3 of them. You don't have to do, there's no order to them. If B sounds more interesting or easier to you than A or C, do B. I don't really care which one you do, but just shoot me one. I just want to see your code and see what you guys are up to and all that stuff. Let's see, any questions on CodeHS or that Unit 1 project? Just looking at chat here, that's what I'm looking at, the chat function. Any questions so far? I'll type it in chat. Maybe sometimes it's hard to find stuff in Zoom unless it starts flashing orange for you. So maybe if I type something in, you guys will see it and know how to respond there. If you think of, by the way, while I'm just waiting a second, giving people a minute to type, if you think of a question like right after we get off the Zoom call, or it's more personal or something like that, you can email me. I've got an email address. It's fosterbl@seleneschools.org. Shoot me an email. Don't do this. There's a Blake Foster that's in like second or third grade in Selene area schools. They have a similar email to me, but it's like obviously a Selene Hornets one. Don't shoot that poor kid an email. He's sitting at home with his family. He can't help you with your computer science homework, unfortunately. I'm sure he wishes he could, but he just can't. So that's CodeHS, wrap CodeHS up, and then Unit 1 projects. Just, pick one, do it. Shoot me an email with the link to it. And then, so I did this meeting today. I'll make sure I put the correct password on the classroom for meeting on Wednesday. I'll have more time on Wednesday to actually answer questions about content and all that stuff. If you have them, that'll be kind of more of a group setting. So that's the stuff in the should do column. I would love for everybody to do the stuff in the should do column. The stuff in the right, the can do column, is just some supplemental stuff. If you are super duper interested in computer science and programming, or you're stuck on something, I found some YouTube videos from another AP computer science teacher going over the topics in Unit 1 if you get caught on any of them. So I'll just click on one really quick. Here's, oh, excuse me. So here's one with a teacher discuss, 666 views, whoops. Anyways, this is another AP Computer Science teacher that's discussing the scanner class, which allows you to do input and all that stuff, allows the user to type stuff in. So if you can't get it from CodeHS, I've got these links on the right, some supplemental information. If you're stuck and you need me to look at your code, you can shoot me an email. Please, if you shoot me an email, give me like a screenshot or something like that. If you just say the program doesn't work, okay, let me use my mental powers of acuity to fix it. I don't know. You're gonna have to send me a screenshot or a copy of your code or something. The best way though for me to help you is by scheduling some one-on-one time. So this link over here, and the reason I recommend the one-on-one time, you can share your screen with me live, you can make changes, all that stuff, and I see them immediately and can help you instantly if you do the one-on-one time. I can't do you sharing your screen if we're in a group like this. So if you have any questions, the link right here that says schedule a time for a video conference, you just click on any. I've made these times available to your folks in about 20-minute segments here. Click on a time that works for you, and if you do that, I'll shoot you an email with a Google Meet link. I don't use Zoom for the one-on-one stuff. It's just more complicated than what I need, so I use Google Meet from that, and usually doesn't require any installation or anything like that. And then you can share your screen with me. We can fix the problem together and all that stuff. So if you're suffering, don't suffer in silence. Schedule some time, because I'm still here doing my job. It's just a little bit different. So any questions? While you folks are maybe typing in questions, I'm just going to kind of summarize. Finish Unit 1 on CodeHS. When you're good there, Unit 1 project document, pick one or more, or just one is fine too. One is fine. One, I want to tell you, one is fine. You'll get the green check mark from me in Power School if you do one. That's totally fine. Seniors that need this credit to graduate, one is fine. Don't worry about doing 2 or 3. It's just some extra stuff for people that are really interested or trying to expand their horizons, whatever. So do CodeHS, finish Unit 1. Unit 1 project, pick one of them from that document, do it on CodeHS, share the link with me via email. I'll meet with you guys 11 o'clock on Wednesday. I'll do a little Zoom meeting like this, and I'll take requests from people in the chat if they want me to work my way through stuff in front of everybody, and I'll record that as well. If you're stuck on anything, you can look in the Can Do column for some YouTube videos to supplement your instruction. And then if you're still stuck, you can shoot me an email. You can schedule a time for a video conference using that doodle link there. And then if you want to do something fun, the Code Combat, I've still got the classroom link there if you haven't joined that. The Code Combat is just an optional thing. But yeah, so try to do the stuff in the left column. And any questions? If you got them, you can type them in the chat. I just want to, while I'm waiting, just thank everybody for joining me. I'm sorry I kind of goofed the Zoom meeting link, but I'm glad you guys found it, fixed it. If you can't make one of the meeting times, that's okay. We'll record it and put it up so you can check it out later. But you can always schedule one-on-one time with me. I truly hope you're all doing safe and you're staying well and happy and healthy. It's hard when the weather's kind of gross like this, or if you've got family or yourself, you're sick, maybe something like that. It's just hard being stuck inside all the time. I totally understand it. But I truly hope all is well. I miss you folks. And I will hopefully see you soon. If there's no questions, it doesn't look like there are in chat, I am going to take off. Shoot me an email if you think of anything. See you, everybody.